The witches met me on the day of my victory in battle, and I have since learned that they have supernatural knowledge. When I tried desperately to question them further, they vanished into thin air. While I stood spellbound, messengers from the king arrived and greeted me as the Thane of Cawdor, which is precisely how the weird sisters had saluted me before calling me the future king. You're going to be king just as promised, but I'm afraid you don't have what it takes to seize the crown. You're too kind to strike aggressively at your first opportunity. Yes, you want to be powerful, and you don't lack ambition, but you don't have the mean streak that these things call for. You want to do it like a good man. You don't want to cheat, but you want what doesn't belong to you. But you're afraid to do what you need to get it. You want it to be done for you. Hurry home so I can persuade you. After all, fate and witchcraft both seem to want you to be king. What's the news?
The king's coming.
You're crazy. Isn't Macbeth with the king, and wouldn't he have told me so I could prepare?
I'm sorry, but it's true. Macbeth's coming too.
Take good care of him. He brings great news. So the messenger is short of breath as he announces Duncan's entrance into my fortress. Make me less of a woman and more like a man. Fill me head to toe with deadly cruelty. Thicken my blood and clog up my veins so I'll feel no remorse.
My dearest love, Duncan is coming here tonight.
And when is he leaving?
He plans to leave tomorrow.
That day will never come. Your face betrays strange feelings, my lord, and people will be able to read it like a book. In order to deceive them, you must appear the way they expect you to look. Greet the king with a welcoming expression in your eyes, your hands, and your words. You should look like an innocent flower, but be like the snake that hides underneath the flower. The king is coming, and he's got to be taken care of. Let me handle tonight's preparations, because tonight will change every night and day for the rest of our lives.
We will speak about this further.
You should project a peaceful mood, because if you look trouble, you will arouse suspicion. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle is in a pleasant place. The air is sweet and appeals to my refined senses.
The fact that this summer bird, this house martin, builds his nest here proves how inviting the breezes are. There isn't a single protrusion in the castle walls, but these birds haven't built their hanging nests to sleep and breed. I've noticed that they always like to settle and mate where the air is the nicest.
Look, here comes our honored hostess. Sometimes the love my subjects bring me is inconvenient, but I still accept it as love. In doing so, I'm teaching you to thank me for the inconvenience I'm causing you by being here, because it comes from my love to you.
Everything we're doing for you, even if it were doubled and then doubled again, is nothing compared to the honors that you have brought to our family. We gladly welcome you as our guest, with gratitude for both the honors you've given us before and the new honors you've just given us.
Where is Macbeth, the Thane of Cawdor? We follow closely after him. I hope to arrive here before him, but he rides swiftly, and his great love, which is as sharp as a spur, helped him beat us here. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guests tonight.
We are your servants, your highness, and as always our house and everything in it is at your disposal. For after all, we keep it in your trust, and we're glad to give you back what's yours.
Give me your hand. Bring me my host, Macbeth. I love him dearly, and I shall continue to favor him. Whenever you're ready, hostess.
If this business would really be finished when I did the deed, then it would be best to get it over with quickly. If the assassination of the king could work like a net sweeping up everything and preventing any consequences, then the murder would be the be-all and end-all of the whole affair. I would gladly put my soul and the afterlife at risk to do so. But the crimes like these are still punishments in the world. By committing violent crimes, we will only teach other people to commit violent crimes. The violence of our students will become the back to plague our teachers. Justice, being equal to everyone, forces us to drink from the poisoned cup that we serve to others. The king trusts me in two ways. First of all, I am the kinsman and the subject, so I should always try to protect him. Second, I am his host, so I should be closing the door in his murderous face, not trying to murder him myself. Besides, Duncan has been such a humble leader, so free of corruption, so that his virtuous legacy will speak for him when he dies, as if angels were playing trumpets against the injustice of his murder. Pity, like an innocent newborn baby, will ride the wind and winged angels on visible horses. through the air and spread news of the horrible deed to everyone everywhere. People will shed a floor of tears that will drown the wind like a horrible downpour of rain. I can't spore myself action. The only thing motivating me is ambition, which makes people rush ahead of themselves toward disaster. What news do you have?
He has almost finished dinner. Why did you leave the dining room?
He asked for me.
Don't you know he has?
We can't go on with this plan. The king has just honored me, and I have earned the good opinion of all sorts of people. I want to enjoy these honors while the feeling is fresh and not throw them away so soon.
Were you drunk when you seemed so hopeful before? Have you gone to sleep and woken up green and pale in fear of this idea? From now on, this is what I'll think of your love. Are you afraid to act the way you desire? Will you take the crown you want so badly, or will you live as a coward, always saying, I can't, after you say, I want to? You're like the poor old cat in the old story.
Please stop. I dare do only what is proper for men to do. Who dares do more is not a man at all.
If you weren't a man, then what kind of animal were you when you first told me you wanted to do this? When you dared to do it, that's when you were a man. And if you go one step further by doing what you dared to do before, you'll be that much more the man. The time and the place weren't right before, but you would have gone ahead with the murder anyhow. Now the time and place are just right, but they're almost too good for you. I have suckled a baby, and I know how sweet it is to love the baby at my breast. But even as the baby was smiling up at me, I would have plucked my nipple out of its mouth and smashed its brains out against a wall if I had sworn to do that the same way you have sworn to do this.
But if we fail?
We fail? If you get your courage up, we can't fail. When Duncan is asleep, the day's hard journey has definitely made him tired. I'll get his 2 servants so drunk that their memory will go up in smoke through the chimneys of their brains. When they lie asleep like pigs, so drunk they'll be dead to the world, what won't you and I be able to do to the unguarded Duncan? And whatever we do, we can lay all the blame on the drunken servants.
May you only give birth to male children because your fierce spirit could create nothing that isn't masculine? Once we have covered the 2 servants with blood and used their daggers to kill, won't people believe that they were the culprits?
Who could think it happened any other way? We'll be grieving loudly when we hear that Duncan has died.
Now I'm decided, and I will exert every muscle in my body to commit this crime. Now go and pretend to be a family hostess. Hide with a false pleasant face what you know in your false evil heart.
Thank you and good night.